Hi guys. We did lesson 6, 7 over 2 days, but I'm going to do just one video because the homework is just one worksheet. Okay. So the first part of this gives examples like translate the triangle, write 6 and down 7, and then reflect it over the x-axis. Okay. So order matters. It says to do the translation first. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take my ABC and I'm going to translate it, write 6, down 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. C prime. Order doesn't matter. I don't have to go in alphabetical order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. B prime. Dot and label. Then the next direction says reflect over the x-axis, and you have to do that second. So here's the x-axis. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. A little bigger. Here's my x-axis. All right, and I'm just heading up toward it. So 2 counts to get to the x-axis and 2 counts on the other side. That's B, and that's a double prime since that's the second image. Okay, C prime is going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to be C double prime. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A double prime. Okay, so I'm going from my original triangle to my first image and my first image to my second image, and going in order is definitely important, definitely matters. Okay, the next one says rotate the triangle 180, then do a dilation with a scale factor of 3. Okay, so the first thing it wants is that rotation of 180. Okay, we learned lots of strategies to do rotations in class. You can always watch the video again if you're not sure how to do rotations. So I'm going to do the method where I just remember that if A is right 1 and down 2, A prime is going to be left 1 and up 2. A prime. B, right 2, down 1, left 2, up 1. B prime. C, 3, 3, 3, 3. I kind of know where they're going to go. Remember a 180 rotation. I definitely know that this triangle is going to spin around to here. It's going to go 2 quadrants. And if the B is leading the way around the circle, so B should be here and A prime should be there. Okay, so again, if doing a rotation is something that you're not comfortable with, then go back and watch the rotation video. Okay, the next thing that it's asking us to do is a dilation with a scale factor of 3. That means I'm going to go to my blue triangle that I just drew, and I'm going to triple all the coordinates. So for example, A prime is at -1 and 2. So if I triple that, -1 tripled would be -3, and 2 tripled would be 6. So -3 and 6 is where I'm going to put A double prime. And some students write this out. So -1, if A prime is at -1 and 2, A double prime is going to be at -3 and 6. And you're welcome to write that out if you want to, but some of you are moving past that. You're kind of doing, it's only multiplying by 2s and 3s usually, so, or small numbers, so it's not too hard to do it in your head. So B prime is at -2 and 1. If I triple that, that's -6 and 3. B double prime. C is at -3 and +3. If I triple that, that's -9 and +9, multiplying everything by 3. Okay? Don't forget letters. Don't forget double primes. Guys, it is not full credit if you leave that stuff off. Okay? So that's doing the front side of your homework. Then there's the back side of your homework. The back side of your homework is asking you to do something like this. It says, it gives you a picture, the picture's already drawn, and it says, well, just write what is the sequence of transformations that you see. So you have to be able to recognize what transformations were there. Now, we kind of did this in lesson 6 too, where you had to look at some pictures and just tell me, well, is it a dilation, is it a rotation, etc. We're getting more specific now. Okay, if you're going to tell me that there was a translation, you got to tell me like how many boxes did it move right and left, how many boxes did it move right up and down. You have to give me more this time. If you tell me it's a dilation, that's not enough. You got to tell me like, well, how much of a dilation is it? Okay, that kind of thing. So back up in our notes in class, I had you fill in this graphic organizer, which tells us how to do the detailed writing about each thing. Now, detailed writing sounds like English class, sounds like sentences and paragraphs. No. All you're going to do is write a couple more details than translation. All right, so this picture shows a translation. I've got this triangle. The top one is the original. How do I know that's the original? Because there's no prime marks next to any of the letters. Okay, then I've got my image down here, and I know it's the image because it has those prime marks, and my triangle didn't flip over, it didn't turn, it didn't get any bigger, it just moved down. Okay, now we don't trace its path diagonally, we trace its path along the grid lines. So that was right 3 and down 7. Okay, so officially how we would write this for our homework would be that this is a translation. You have to say what it is, and that you went right 3 and down 7. And you can abbreviate a little bit. Okay, important, very important, the order. Okay, let's pretend I connected C to C prime. I would be drawing the down 7 arrow first. That's fine. Down 7 and right 3. However, I still have to write right 3 first. No matter how I draw the arrows, I still got to write it in the correct order. Okay, reflection. Yep, I can see that here's my original triangle, no primes. Here's my image triangle, it has the primes. And I can see that it flipped over, it reflected. So in lesson 6 too, you would have told me that this is a reflection. Okay. Now that we're more experienced, we've done reflections, you have to tell me, well, what did it reflect over? What is its axis of symmetry? So the axis of symmetry is that axis that's halfway between the two triangles. Okay, so this case, it's a reflection over x axis. Okay, or it could be a different picture might be over the y-axis, but those are the two things that you would be saying there. Okay, rotation. All right, you're going to look at the picture. You can see that this triangle is my original, and you can see that it rotated around. Okay, A was pointing up. Now A is pointing down. C was pointing to the left. Now C is pointing, kind of northeast there. And B is pointing at the origin, kind of still pointing at the origin. Okay, so it did a rotation. All right, well, it's not enough to tell me that we did a rotation. You now have to tell me, well, what kind of rotation? Remember that 90 degrees is going to be one quadrant or one square. And if you tell me 90 degrees, you have to be specific. Is it clockwise? Is it counterclockwise? This one happens to be a 180 degree rotation. You do not have to say clockwise or counterclockwise because it doesn't really matter. Whether you go clockwise or counterclockwise, the figure will appear the same either way. Okay, dilation. You've got, an A prime up here, and this is regular A. So this triangle down here, this is my original triangle. And I can see that my image triangle is bigger, so I know this is a dilation, but it's not enough to say, oh, dilation. We have to say what the scale factor is, or the dilation factor. The same thing there. Synonyms, scale factor, dilation factor, they are synonyms, same thing. And this is super easy to do. You just pick a letter. Okay, say I picked A, and I look at one of its coordinates. One of its coordinates is 2. It's right on the 2, as a matter of fact. Then I will look at its A prime and look at the same coordinate. I'm going to look at that Y coordinate again, and I see that it's 6. Well, what did I multiply by to get from 2 to 6? Well, I multiplied by 3. Now, I don't have to do that for every coordinate of every point because they're all going to be the same. They're all going to be multiplied by 3. So you just have to do it one time. Okay? I would highly encourage you to have these two, this graphic organizer, this page of your notes in front of you during this homework assignment, because that'll help you avoid saying writing some incorrect things on your homework. It'll help you remember what kind of details go with what. In other words, you don't end up saying things like it rotated over the y-axis. Well, rotations don't happen over axes. Rotations have 90 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise. Rotations could be 180. Reflections happen over axes. So it keeps you from saying the wrong details to go along with the transformation if you have this in front of you. Okay. So here's an example. What is the sequence of transformations that we see here? First, identify where's your original triangle. This is the original because the letters have no primes. Then identify the first image. The first image is the one that has single prime marks. And just focus on that right now. Okay? Let's see. How did I get from this triangle, my original, to this new triangle, A prime, B prime, C prime? What happened? Well, sometimes if you're not sure, rule out things you know didn't happen. For example, this is really obviously not a dilation because it didn't change size. They look about the same size to me. Okay? And it's not a reflection because if I make like a little face here, okay, he is definitely not looking at himself in any kind of mirror. So it's definitely not a reflection. So that would leave us with translation and rotation. Okay? Translation would mean I would be taking this triangle and just sliding it over here. Well, no, it's not. That's not right. Okay? So all we're left with is rotation. So this first one is a rotation. And I moved this direction 1 quadrant. 1 quadrant indicates 90 degrees, and the direction is clockwise, and you can write CW is fine. Okay? So rotation 90 degrees clockwise. All right, now for the second line, for the second thing in the sequence, I'm going to say, okay, how did this triangle transform into this one? What happened to make that happen? Okay, again, I'd go, this is my double prime. All right, and I would again go through my list of questions. Well, did it get any bigger? No, it didn't get any bigger. Did it flip over? Nope, didn't flip over. Did it turn? Nope. C prime is pointing down. C double prime is pointing down. Okay, so I'm kind of left with translation. It stayed facing the same direction. It just moved. And again, we got to talk about right and left first. So here's A prime. And this is the path A prime took to get from here to here. That's left 2, left 2, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Left 2 and down 9. Okay? All right, what is the sequence of transformations shown here? Well, the littlest triangle right here is the one that has no primes. That's my starting point. And the yellow triangle is the one that has the single primes. Well, that got bigger. Getting bigger is dilation. But it's not enough to say dilation anymore. We also have to say what the scale factor is. So if this is my original, all I have to do is come down and say, okay, one of the coordinates of C is -5. That's the x-coordinate. The x-coordinate of C prime is -10. Well, what did I multiply -5 by to get -10? I multiplied it by 2. So my scale factor is 2. I only have to do that for one coordinate of 1 point because they'll all be the same. All right, then I've got my yellow triangle and it is transforming into my green triangle. Well, how did that happen? Well, I can see that B prime and B double prime are right across from each other. It kind of looks like all the yellow triangle did was flip over. Flipping over is called a reflection. By the way, if you use the word flip over, sorry, that's not worth anything. You have to say reflection only. Okay, then you have to tell me, what did it reflect over? Well, it reflected over, in this case, x-axis. Okay, so that is what 6-7 is all about. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.